All right, shalom to the elect of Israel. I want to give all the praises, honor, and glory to whom it rightfully belongs, which is Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. And what I said was all the praises, honor, and glory belongs to Yahweh, who was the Heavenly Father, in the name of his Son, Yahweh Shai, who was the Messiah, in the name of the Holy Spirit, which in Hebrew is Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, ever well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect. And this lesson is going to go into something that recently happened. And by the way, let me just say this. So looking for any background noises you hear. All right. And if my screen, messes up, like if I freeze or something, or I go on mute, you could just skip ahead to the point where I continue to talk. All right. And internet connection messes up sometimes. So, just bear with me. Sometimes it might chop, be choppy. All right. Or, you know, uh, might skip a little bit sometimes, yeah, man. This lesson is gonna go into these Israel wildfires that happened recently. All right, that's what it's gonna be going into. Okay, and you know, it's not shocking that not overly shocking that it happened. All right, it's just judgment, and the thing is, just wait. Like if you think this is bad, wait till you see what's really gonna happen in the future. This world better get used to fire, man. All right, I'm gonna say it like that. This world better get used to fire. That's what the Lord is gonna send a lot of in these last days. Fire, man. All right. So as we see here, Israel wildfire. So this, happened over here. Okay, and in the land of Israel, you know, um, and the thing is, it's funny, it's same over here in New Jersey. It happened as well. You know, uh, these wildfires happened over here as well. That's odd that it happened here and then it happens over there. But as you see it, says Israel declares national emergency as wildfires force evacuations. Firefighters gain upper hand battling raging wildfires in Israel. Fire authority needs double the budget to cope during era of mega fires. All right, so they've been having some wildfires going on, right? And these are some of the pictures, okay, of the fires going on out there. I don't know why. But you see what's going on. You can just look it up. All right, here. Oh, look. See now it wants to pop up as soon as I put it away, right? You see different wildfires and everything. Okay. All right. So Israel fires says from BBC News it says Israel fires largely controlled after mass evacuations. And this was a picture. These rats living in our land now. This is some of what they're going through. Says fires that have ravaged large parts of central Israel since Wednesday have largely been extinguished. The country's fire and rescue authority says more than 150 teams have been battling the blaze, which has scorched around 20 square kilometers of land in the Latrin area between Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. Israel's ambulance service said at least 12 people have been treated for smoke inhalation, but no fatalities have been reported. 17 firefighters were injured, according to Israeli broadcaster Khan. Says authorities said hot and dry conditions with strong winds made controlling the fires more challenging, and a senior official warned they could flare up again. All right. Now, this person said, I've been in the service for 24 years and I've been through many fires, said Shlomi Harush, a deputy commander of Ayalon Fire Station. So this is a firefighter. Right? Says there's no doubt that this is one of the toughest fires I've seen. Okay, you know, and I seen brother upload pretty much it prior to brothers putting it up about it. I didn't notice it, know that it was going on. All right, but you know, um, yeah, and I believe I don't remember exactly what the brother was saying, but you know, um, and maybe the same brother, another brother said that said, like basically like these fires over there in Israel showing, basically a sign of what's to come. All right, but as regarding these fires is happening all over the world and thing, right? This is the book of Isaiah 29:6. It says, "Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of Yahweh of hosts, with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire." Okay, and the flame of devouring fire. All right, and the Lord is the one that's sending these things. It's judgment. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 11, verse 14. Prosperity and adversity, life and death, poverty and riches come of the Lord. So all these things come from Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Right now they're catching adversity. The Lord is the one that's sending it, right? One of the definitions of judgment doesn't only mean, you're making a decision, okay, on something. Which I mean at the same time, verse definition 2, right, which says a misfortune or calamity viewed as a divine punishment, right? You know, which I mean, that comes, with the, the judgment that, that you deserve it. See? So the Lord, said judgment, punishment, okay, on Amalek out there, man. Okay, and the thing is, it's only gonna ramp up. All right, you know, meaning what? Because as we know, okay, as we know, it's the scriptures talk about the land of Israel being nuked. Okay, it's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, starting at verse 18. It says, "And it shall come to pass at the same time when Gog, which is talking about Russia, shall come against the land of Israel." All right, so Russia is going to come against the land of Israel. Okay, they're going to come against the land of Israel, and during World War III, this is going to happen when World War III is alive and kicking. Because I mean, you can kind of say we, at the beginning stage, all these nations and everything fight each other in. America having all these nations turn its back on it and everything. You can kind of say we at the beginning of it, you know. To say the Lord Yahweh that my fury shall come up in my face. Verse 19, for in my jealousy and in the fire of my wrath have I spoken. Surely in all creeping things that creep upon the earth, and all the men that are upon the face of the earth shall shake at my presence, and the mountains shall be thrown down, and the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground. All right, and this is going to be caused by the nuclear missiles, all right, which is going to rock the earth to and fro. All right. Verse 21. And I will call for a sword against him throughout all my mountains, saith the Lord Yahweh. Every man's sword shall be against his brother. Here's the point, verse 22. And I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood, and I will rain upon him and upon his bands, and upon the many people that are with him, and overflowing rain, and great hailstones, fire, and brimstone. And that is going to be in the form of nuclear missiles. Okay. the Lord is going to nuke. So when this happens, when this so like, let me just read verse 23. Thus will I magnify myself and sanctify myself, and I will be known in the eyes of many nations, and they shall know that I am Yahweh. Okay. So the point being that when this is going to happen during World War III, that the Lord is going to, when this happens, the Lord's going to cause that land to get nuked. All right. And it's going to be, the armies that's fighting that land is going to get nuked as well. Okay. They're going to get nuked, man. All right. So if they're in the land fighting, what does that tell you? And if they're in the land fighting and then they're going to get nuked, what does that tell you? That the land of Israel is eventually going to get nuked. Is Revelation chapter 20, starting at verse 7. It says, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. Satan, all right, talking about his physical counterpart, which is Esau, all right, so-called white man, this is talking about, you know, after the Middle Ages, he came back into power during the Renaissance period, right? Verse Gog and then it says Gog and Magog. So now jumping ahead now to the times we live in. It says Gog and Magog, Russia, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. All right. And this term is, a lot of times applied to the Israelites, being, sand of the sea and everything. Okay, but it says that about, Russia, because it's going to be a large army. All right, but verse 9, and they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints about. Who were the saints? The Israelites, Psalms 148 and 14. And the camp is talking about the land of Israel. Our land is the land of Israel, right? It says, and the beloved city, which is what? Jerusalem. Okay. It says, and fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them. You see? So that land of Israel is going to get nuked. Let me just see if I can put it up on the map, man. I like showing, I don't know. I just like, to show maps sometimes, man. I have a grand, grand image. Um, you know, having a grand image and everything. Okay. But basically, man, all right. Oh, damn. Here we go with this messing up shit. All right. Basically, all right. You know, come on, man. Damn. Fuck. Slovakia. All right. But this land of Israel is going to get nuked. All right. So they thinking that the wildfires and everything is tough. Yeah. Okay. You know. Okay. you know. And the thing is, we close to this time, man. We're real close to that time. Okay. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3. And it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. All right. So the prophecy, all right, the prophecies are going to happen at the time the Lord has it set to happen. And even though it might feel like it's taking a bit long, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And I be at work. I just see, the stuff going on in the world. All right. We close, man. We're real close. Okay, we are really close. Best believe it. Okay. But there's a lot of fire gonna come in these last days. Best believe that. Oh yeah. Especially with the nuclear missiles. But another thing I wanted to cover before I forget, all right, because I almost forgot. It's a lot. But the land of Israel, because it's going to be nuked, as we read. The land of Israel is what? It's going to be rebuilded, though. You see? At the end, see, this is the thing, man. At the end of Esau's world, okay, it's going to be in Esau's world, but the beginning of ours, see? you know? It's going to be the end of this man's rulership, okay? And then after that, all right, comes our power our time to be in power, which is going to be forever. We're never going to stop being in power. We're always going to exist. We're always going to be in power. We're never going down again. All right. We always going to be here. We always going to be in power. Okay. When I say here, meaning in existence, it's not power forever. All right. After this man goes down. So come on, Esau, just get up out the way. Just get out the way. Move out so the Israelites could come through. Just hurry up. Do what you got to do. Come down with your great wrath, try to get your MOTB and everything started up, because after this little last hurrah you got, it's over with, man. Let me get this real quick. This is Job 20 and 23. It says, when he is about to fill his belly, so when Esau is about to, complete, his NWO, so the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him. Yahweh Shai is going to come back, says, and shall rain it upon him while he's eating. So while this man is, having everybody, chipped up, smart cities, all that type of stuff going on, then the Lord's going to come back in the midst of all that, man. Okay? So come on, Esau, hurry up so the Lord could, do what he's going to do. But as we know, everything is controlled by Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Okay? And it's, as we read, appointed time. Okay? But we want to make this clear. So we just read Israel being nuked. However, look, this is a future prophecy, right? Also about the land of Israel, you know, coming back. Basically meaning, when I say Salaki, when I say coming back, meaning, let me re-say that, Salaki. This is also prophecy by the land of Israel, being renewed, okay? In a sense, being built back up, all right? Because once again, at the end of this man's world, is going to be a lot of fire, a lot of devastation. But after that, see, we Israelites are going to come into power, man. So it's the book of Ezekiel 36, okay? And I'm starting verse 6. It says, prophesy therefore concerning the land of Israel, and say unto the mountains, and to the hills, and to the rivers, and to the valleys, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I have spoken in my jealousy and in my fury, because ye have borne the shame of the heathen. Therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, I have lifted up mine hand, surely the heathen that are about you, they shall bear their shame. All right, but verse 8 says what? But ye, O mountains of Israel, ye shall shoot forth your branches and yield your fruit to my people of Israel, for they are at hand to come. Okay, so it's about time for us to go back home. See, the northern kingdom left during the time of the Assyrian Empire. As we read in we read in Second Ezra 13 and 40. All right, I believe Shalmaneser came while King Hoshea was reigning over Israel, took them away in captivity. All right, and they left the Assyrians. Slack from them, but I believe that's what 2 Kings 17. All right, I believe Slack if I'm wrong. All right, and then but yeah, they left, and then 70 A.D. the Southern Kingdom was kicked out of Jerusalem. All right, and fled into Africa for the most part, and other places as well. All right, but Southern Kingdom, really dwelt in Africa, and they were brought over here to America. Okay, so we left the land. And on the kingdom are on the western hemisphere of the world, but we about to go back to our homeland that was given to us by our forefathers. Okay, and it's about that time. It says, "For they are at hand to come." But look, verse 9: For behold, I am for you, and I will turn unto you, and ye shall be tilled and sown. Let's look at the words tilled and sown. Ibad. All right, Ibad. Strong's H5647. Ibad, and it says to work, serve, to labor, work, do work, to work for another, serve another by labor. Okay, so to work. And the thing is, so the land of Israel is gonna, one thing is gonna happen, it's gonna be worked upon. By who? See, once again, this is a future prophecy. All right, this is in the world of, this is gonna be happening during the world of Jacob, man. the world of the Israelites, the rulership, the eon of the Israelites when we're in power. So we ain't gonna be the ones, you know, doing the working, so to speak. Okay, our slaves are gonna be doing it because after this nuclear destruction, we're gonna have slaves. All right, we're gonna be on top. All right, then it says, and sown. Sown Strong's H2232. Bear me 1 second, man. All right, Salakia. But basically, all right, I'm gonna go back to the scripture I was reading. Oh yeah, so I was going to the part about Ezekiel 36 where it says the land of Israel says sown. So the Hebrew word for sown here is zerai, and it says to sow, scatter seed, to sow, produce, producing, yielding seed, to be sown, to be become pregnant, but it's not pregnant. All right, because a land can't become pregnant. All right, so that's not what it's talking about. But it's going to be planted upon. It's going to be worked and planted upon. So this is going to be after the nuclear destruction. So what does that tell you? That well, I just said it's going to be planted. It's going to basically going to be a revival of trees and all of that. All of that stuff is going to come back. Okay, it's going to be new, but all of that stuff is going to be worked upon. It's going to be planted. It's going to come back. And we're the one. And guess what? Who's gonna inhabit all of that? Who's going to be enjoying all of that? Verse 10. And I will multiply men upon you. Who? All the house of Israel. And guess what? How are we going to be multiplied upon it? All these women that we're going to have, man. Okay? You know? We're going to be in, we're going to be in those new bodies. And this proves that even women, Israelite women are going to have new bodies. Okay? And so we're going to be in new bodies and we're going to be reproducing. Okay? And that's going to be the 2/3 coming back. All right. It says, and the city shall be inhabited, and the waste shall be builded. Okay. So, verse 11, and I will multiply upon you man and beast, and they shall increase and bring fruit, and I will settle you after your old estates, and will do better unto you than you have done unto your fathers, and will give you land and possess it, and will set it upon you, even my people Israel, and they shall possess thee, and thou shalt be their inheritance, and thou shalt no more henceforth bereave them of men. Okay, so here we go. All right, so it's going to come back. The land of Israel is going to come back because we got to inhabit it, man. You know, we have to inhabit the land of Israel. We're going to inhabit a place that got nuked. No, man, no, 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 no. All right, we you know, we're going to inhabit. Uh, we're going to inhabit a rich place. Okay, so you know, but these people were talking about, you know, the fires is something, and you know they think that's something, and that's, you know, talking. They were talking about it a lot. They think that's something. Then just wait till world, you know, that day in World War III. Okay, just wait, just wait. And on that day, Yahweh Shai is going to come back. All right, and definitely going to be fire then. So that's pretty much it, man. All right, and yeah, you know, that's pretty much it. Okay, so with that being said, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Chakodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, never will. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect. Shalom to the elect.